Hi folks, Scott Sager with you here again today. Today in the studio we have Brian Johnson. He's the Development Director for the Fulton County Community Foundation, part of the Northern Indiana Community Foundation located right here in Rochester. Welcome again.
Thank you for having me today.
You guys moved not that long ago, so let's make sure
did.
people know where to find you these days.
Well, last summer we moved into our new office. It's at 227 East 9th Street. So a good location right there on 9th Street. If folks are looking for the office, they can see the sign out front. And
nice sign, by
by.
the way, a really nice sign. You can't drive by without seeing how great this community is and all that they're giving,
yes.
right?
So we try and promote our community any chance we get,
Yeah.
and the sign is one of those opportunities to
That's neat.
get information out or congratulations.
Yeah, and you're also putting out information about when your scholarships. I saw
Yes.
that driving by one day.
Yeah.
Hey, now's the time. Go
Yep.
online.
Yeah, keep an eye on the sign for current events that we may be offering. So
That's excellent.
scholarships, grants, all those types of things.
Excellent. You've probably been stopping by the Rochester Bagel Shop.
We have a couple times.
A little more now that you're over on that side of town.
Couple times.
Right? Yeah.
Very convenient. So
Well, that's great. You guys did a nice job on the building. Landscaping
Yeah.
looks great out there. The sign looks great. So you've been a busy man as always. What's been going on with the foundation?
wanted to start off. Of course, this time of year we think a lot about scholarships.
Yes, sir.
We're able to go to the area schools, and we've been doing that this past few weeks.
Great.
It's wonderful to see the level of achievement students have reached.
Mm-hmm.
So, on behalf of the board and staff and volunteers and everybody, donors involved with the foundation, I'd like to say congratulations to the class of 2019.
Wow. Class of
it's
2020
hard to
is
believe.
coming, folks.
It is,
I'll tell you
it
what,
is.
that's
So,
scary. Now tell us, Brian, here in Fulton County, what schools are you going around to at the high school level?
Well, we have scholarships that hit the three main schools: Caston, Tippecanoe Valley, and Rochester. We also have recipients at Eastern Pulaski,
Great.
over in Winnemac, and also Culver Community Schools. We have some that are
All of
Fulton
our
County
schools
residents.
covered right here on
Yeah,
RTC
so
TV
it's-
4.
We occasionally get students from the Argus area as
Nice.
well.
Nice.
So
Another one of our
it's-
schools.
It's neat to see how these scholarships are impacting kids, and I think people often look at scholarships and they think about, well, those are financial, and that is a big part of it.
Sure.
Last year we were able to give out over $200,000 to local students.
That's incredible.
But these scholarships are also a way to encourage students and say, hey, somebody in your community believes in you.
Yeah.
We want to be able to help you succeed, give you the encouragement to be able to take that next step. So,
Yeah. Well,
so
that's
it's really neat to see that.
That's
happening.
excellent. It's a sign of achievement, if nothing else.
It is.
You know, and that's something that everybody seems to get everything. Everybody gets a ribbon these days, but you have to
Yeah.
achieve something in order to get these scholarships.
Yeah.
Of course, we've had generous folks from around the community for years putting money into these endowment funds to make
Definitely.
these scholarships possible. Some of these scholarships, by the way, just to digress for a second, some of these are specific. If you're a music student, or
Yes.
if you're going to law school, or if you're
Yes.
going into teaching,
Yes.
these scholarships are specific to you. And so you, as a viewer, as a supporter of the community, if you've got something that they want to, hey, anybody who's going into veterinary medicine, I want to be
Yeah.
able to help them. You
Yes.
can do that.
Yeah, we can do that. We have over 50 scholarships, and
Great.
I usually tell people, if you're planning to go to school, we probably have something that applies to you. Some, like you said, some of them are field specific.
Yeah.
Some of them are school specific. If
Okay.
you're going to a specific
Like if you were going to
school,
Ball State or
Ball
IU.
State or IU, Purdue,
I see.
those are some popular ones. Also, some things that you've been involved in high school. Of course, agriculture is
Sure.
a big thing in our community. We have quite a few that are ag related or 4-H or FFA, things like that as well. So
That's great.
neat to be able to see those. So,
Well, good.
well, leading into that, I wanted to talk about some of the scholarships that we have available during the summer.
Okay.
The scholarships that we're awarding now are for high school graduates,
Okay.
but we have a handful of scholarships that go to students who have already graduated, maybe going back to school, or maybe even pursuing a higher level education, a graduate degree. So,
Excellent.
this is the time of year when we put that information out. And to start off with, the Back Home Again in Indiana scholarship.
Okay, tell me about that.
That's a scholarship, what we call a non-traditional scholarship. So if you have a student that's maybe been out of school for a few years, wants
Okay.
to go back and complete
Continuing
a degree.
studies to a certain
Yeah,
degree.
continuing
Excuse
studies. It also also possible for what we used to know as GED, which is now high school equivalency.
me. Okay.
If somebody has graduated with a high school equivalency and wants to go on for further education, it also offers opportunities for maybe some short-term training.
Nice.
Somebody that's in our community that's working that would like to maybe get a certificate or something for a current career that they're in that would help them
Nice.
better
Welding
work in
or some vocation.
Yes.
Of course, we have all sorts of through Ivy Tech and others. We've got all sorts of vocational training
Yes.
happening now. So,
So that's one opportunity
Excellent.
that may be not what we think of as a normal scholarship, just
Sure.
kind of some outside the box.
nice.
Fulton County Youth Scholarship is another one that we have.
Okay.
It's a scholarship that helps students that are potentially planning to work with youth in a future career.
Okay.
So whether that be maybe a teacher, social worker, different aspects of serving youth in the community.
Nice. Nice.
That one of the requirements for that is that students have to have completed 1 year of their undergraduate
Okay.
work, and then also be attending an Indiana college or university
Okay.
on that one.
So some stipulations to these scholarships. Of course, they can always contact the Community Foundation, look on the website,
Yes.
and glean the information
Yes.
that they need.
Another new one that we have this year is the Phillips Brahman Scholarship.
Okay.
Marjorie Phillips was, I don't think that a basketball game happened without Marjorie at it.
I would agree.
A familiar face in the community.
Absolutely.
She wanted to help support students. So one of the requirements for that is that students have completed 1 year at Purdue.
Okay.
Also have some financial need. But other than that, the scholarship is fairly wide open.
That's
So
great.
It's neat. This is the first year that we've been able to give that scholarship out, and just to remember Marjorie through this scholarship.
Wow.
She was, like I said, an avid supporter of Rochester students and just students in our community. So
Absolutely. Well, that's a fantastic thing. And you say that's the first year for this
first
one.
year, this will be
Great.
the first time we've given it
Great.
out. Another new one that we have, the Baxter Pharmaceutical Scholarship.
Okay.
Of course, the Baxter family has been so instrumental in so many things that have happened in our community.
Yep.
A couple years ago, Fran created this scholarship to help students who are pursuing a pharmaceutical degree.
Great.
Of course, with the Baxter Drugstore, which is
Absolutely.
now Webb's,
Great
have a
history.
long lineage in our community of
Absolutely.
supporting everything, really.
Yes. And Fran taught me how to type.
Did she?
Yes,
Well,
which
good.
they don't teach anymore.
Yes,
So.
yes. Was a wonderful teacher in our school. So this is for students who are
great.
pursuing a pharmaceutical degree.
Okay.
One of the requirements is that they've been accepted into a pharmaceutical program
Okay,
at a
so this is
university.
postgraduate.
Postgraduate. Well, kind of postgraduate.
Yeah, it's actually a specialization.
Usually they can be accepted into a pharmaceutical program following their second year
Okay, great.
of undergraduate
Didn't
study.
realize that.
So
Any particular school here? Can they go
it
into?
just has to be an Indiana university.
Indiana,
So
okay.
any of the universities in Indiana that offer a pharmaceutical program,
That's great.
there's no requirements. It has to be a student that either graduated from Rochester, Caston, or Tippecanoe Valley,
Okay.
or a Fulton County resident.
Okay.
So if you have a Fulton County resident, maybe North Miami,
Mm-hmm.
like we said, Eastern Pulaski, Argus, Culver, as long as they're a Fulton County resident, they would be eligible for that. So
That's great. And these are available now, right? The ones that we're speaking
these
of.
are available now.
Okay, throughout the summer. Do you have a
yes.
cutoff?
There is a deadline. The scholarships that we've talked about so far, July 5th.
Okay.
That is a Friday. So
about 6 weeks, 7 weeks
yeah.
yet?
So, and we have the application on our website, nicf.org, and you click on the Fulton County Scholarship links, and that will get you the application. As we talk about some continuing education, some graduate level scholarships that we offer. Ginger Miller Higher Education Scholarship. Of course, Ginger did a lot of things in our community.
Absolutely did.
Was a community foundation board member and president,
Yeah.
and did a lot of things like the wellness center, working at some of the nursing homes. So this scholarship helps students who are Fulton County residents pursuing some graduate level work.
Okay.
It's not a requirement on anything specific, any field of
Okay.
study, but just that they are pursuing some sort of graduate level degree.
Excellent. So somebody going for a master's or their
Master's,
PhD,
even doctorate.
doctorate
Yes.
level, that is fantastic, and that's
So,
the Ginger Miller
Ginger
Scholarship.
Miller Higher Education Scholarship.
Excellent.
Of course, there are some requirements as far as GPA.
Okay.
So check that out. That deadline is also July 5th.
Okay.
And then one other scholarship that's very specific, the Frederick Rakestraw Law Scholarship.
Yes.
Of course, Frederick was a well-known attorney. When we talk about our building, that's where his law firm was for
Was
a while.
it really there? Okay.
And so his wife Billy
Yes.
set this up in memory
That's great.
before she passed of Frederick.
Billy was a sixth grade science teacher of mine
Yes,
as well. So
yes. We have a theme going on.
we do a
there.
little bit. All my teachers.
And so this is for Fulton County students who were 3 years in a Fulton County school during their high school career.
Okay.
So if they spent 3 of their 4 years in 9th through 12th grade, they're eligible to apply for it. Part of the requirement is that they're going to a law school within the United States.
Okay.
There's no requirement only on Indiana on this one.
Okay.
Anywhere throughout the United States. They do have to maintain a 2.25 GPA
Okay.
during their graduate program, and this is one that could potentially follow students
Nice.
for more than 1 year.
Great.
Along with the Baxter Pharmaceutical Scholarship is another one that could potentially follow students for more than 1 year.
That's
So,
fantastic, Brian. And that's the Rakestraw.
the Frederick Rakestraw Law Scholarship,
Excellent.
and that one does have a little bit different deadline. That's Monday, July 1st.
Okay.
For students who are
And again,
interested.
these are students that have been accepted or currently attending law
Yes.
school. Again, you've got some other parameters to that. In this case, you said 3 years in a Rochester
Yes.
school and a law school somewhere in the U.S.
Yeah.
But again, all of these are set up. I love how specific you're able to get when Billy Rakestraw comes in to set this up in
Yes.
memory of her husband.
Yeah.
That you can get, kind of dial it into really what
Yeah.
they're looking for. That's a
And
fantastic
a lot of times we
legacy.
have people ask us, well, what are these criteria?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a snapshot of the person that these are in honor or memory of.
That's great.
And so it supports that in an ongoing way to
Yeah.
be able to keep the memory of folks that we may have never met
Right.
involved in our communities.
Well, that is fantastic.
But and if students are interested in these and they want more information, there are more details on the scholarship applications as
Okay.
they look at them on our website.
So all that information, all those parameters are right there.
Yes,
in
it's
front
right
of them.
there. So they can sit down and read it and say, yes, I qualify for this, and I'll go ahead and fill out this scholarship. So, and if
great.
folks have questions about the scholarships, don't hesitate to give us a call.
Let them know where they're calling you.
Yeah,
at.
our scholarship coordinator, Allison Heidi, is available. You can reach us at the main line 223-2227.
Okay. And Allison can
And
answer any
Allison
questions.
can help you work through the process if you have questions or have difficulty with any of the forms. We're there to help.
That's fantastic. That's
so
fantastic.
don't hesitate to reach out to Allison.
Talk to me a little bit about the range of dollars. Of course, everybody knows the Lilly, and it's ends up being hundreds
Yeah.
of thousands of dollars in some
Yeah.
cases. But some of these local scholarships, what are we talking about? We're talking about $500. We're talking about $50,000.
It really varies.
Okay.
These scholarships range from a couple $100 to a few $1,000s.
Okay.
And part of that depends on how many students we have
Gotcha.
involved in that as well.
Sometimes you may have
Sometimes
multiple
if we only
recipients.
have one applicant, it may be a little bit more than if we have a few. But I usually very general in just saying a few hundred to a few thousand.
Very good.
Because that's something that
Let's-
we try and support as much as we can.
Let's talk, lift the veil a little bit here for the folks. When we talk about these individual awards, who is making the decision on that application? A committee, I assume?
Yes, we have a scholarship committee
Okay.
that we work with that sit down and review. Really, our goal is when a donor comes in and sets up a scholarship to create criteria that would still select the same person for that scholarship as they would choose, even if they're not involved.
Oh,
because
wonderful.
we know somewhere down the road, 50 years from now, these scholarships are still going to be supporting students,
Nice.
but none of us are going to be around to be able to help
Right.
choose this. So that's really our ultimate goal, is to get those criteria. So that's what our committee looks at when we
Nice.
select those, is looking at how well does this student fit the
Yeah.
values of the scholarship that this person is in memory
Great.
of.
So, for 100 years, 200 years, 300
Yeah.
years from now, they can still look at this Frederick
Frederick
Rakestraw,
Rakestraw,
mhm,
yeah.
and those parameters. It's as if he were there choosing himself.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
fantastic.
So that's
Brian.
really our ultimate goal with all of our scholarships.
That's great. That's great.
And thank you to the donors who have made that possible.
Absolutely. You know, we love you. It's people like you that make communities like Rochester, Indiana, what they are, and Fulton County in general.
And I always tell people, if you want to be encouraged about future generations, sit on one of these scholarship committees. It's really exciting to see what kids have already accomplished.
Yeah.
And you think forward to what they're going to accomplish. It's really encouraging to be part of that process.
Yeah,
So,
some of these kids, by the time they're applying for these scholarships in their senior year of high school, have achieved more than a lot of people in this
Yes,
town will achieve their whole
definitely.
lives. So
Definitely.
keep it up. The youth of America, it's strong, it's vibrant. They are the future, as we were
Yes.
at one point. we're the past now.
Yeah.
But, well, that's great, Brian. I'll let you kind of take us where you want to,
Okay.
but one of the things, we were just talking about legacy, and it immediately occurred to me that I have a new camera at a ballpark that has been renamed.
Yes.
And I don't know if now is
Yes.
the time to segue to that, but I know you were a part of that, and I thought
Yes.
I'd bring that up for you to talk about.
We've had the opportunity to support youth sports throughout our community the past few years. This year, our grants committee was able to award the Rochester Youth Baseball League a grant of $10,000. If you've ever been out to the Ball Diamond, it's a very unique look with 2 layers of fencing. Kind of fun for the kids to get out there and play on that field. But it had been in need of some repair.
Yep.
And so we were able to grant $10,000 to help the Youth League replace the old fence that was really becoming a
It was.
safety
They
concern.
they
It
were
was-
wooden signs. It was
Yes.
well done back in the
Yes.
day.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of maintenance for
It
that
does.
type of thing.
and very expensive as well.
Yes.
So now there is a new, very nice chain link dual layer fence.
You
Able
kept
to
the
put
dual layer.
banners
That
on it.
surprised me. Most
It's-
people wouldn't
yes. Yeah, it's just a very cool look for
It
a
is.
youth baseball diamond.
Unique, to say the least.
And now there's a new fence, new banners
Yep.
out there. So
Bright and shiny.
makes an opportunity for some sponsors who may not have been able to afford it in the
Yeah.
past to participate,
That's great.
support that as well. But it's neat to see the look the same with a new fence out there, and with all the renovations that have happened out at the Youth League this year. Really neat to be a part of that. So thank you to donors who have given to our community funds that have made that grant possible. Really, really neat to see some of the things that the kids have done.
Yeah.
When we talk about banners as well, of course, recently we saw banners start popping up in downtown Rochester.
We did.
The Psi Iota Xi sorority
Yeah.
has been able to do their banner contest 3 years now.
Yeah.
Partner with the area schools and display students' artworks in the downtown. The last couple of years, we've been able to make community grants to that. This year, the Baxter family, through the M&M Fund,
Okay.
granted to help support the project,
Oh,
to
that's
help
great.
actually provide the banners
Mm-hmm.
and the printing to be able to display those downtown. So now if you've been up and down 9th Street or Main Street or some of the side streets in downtown, you see these neat banners that are from the area schools. So
And these are kids. We were talking about the
It is.
achievement of our youth, and these
It
kids
is.
have put out some amazing pieces of art.
and you'll see anywhere from kindergartners all the way through seniors in high school that have participated in this. So
It's a really neat
neat
thing.
to see, kind of liven up the downtown a little bit.
It
So,
does. It does. Some nice, and if you haven't seen them again, just look up as you're driving down the streets of Rochester. I caught the one on 9th Street there as I was driving the other day. It's a nice palm tree with a scenic background, and it's just beautiful. And the fact that the Psi Iota Xi came to you, you guys are working with them, you've got the Baxters involved. Banners are more affordable than they've ever been, but they're still not cheap.
No.
You know, and therefore and also I'm sure volunteers put them up.
yes.
So that's great stuff all the way around, folks. And thanks to the Psi Iota Xi, thanks to the Community Foundation for doing that.
It's been a neat project. So, talking a little bit about education, we do have preschool scholarships available again this year. The 1920 school year will be the 7th year that we've been able to offer preschool scholarships. So we see a need where families don't have the funding to be able to send their student to preschool. So this has helped specifically pre-K.
Okay.
So that year before students go into kindergarten, we want to be able to remove that financial barrier if a family says, "Hey, our student really needs this, but we can't afford it." That's where these scholarships come in. So
that's great, and every kid could benefit from going to preschool.
So in the 6 years that we've offered the scholarships, we've been able to offer over $92,000 in scholarships to over 130 children in our community.
Are you kidding me?
Some of them, it's a matter of sometimes it's not even necessarily I can't afford to pay for preschool. It's the transportation piece. We have some really wonderful preschools in our area that do a great job. And so this has been a way of us partnering and helping these students be able to get to preschool, be able to be ready for kindergarten so that they know all the basic things so they can walk into kindergarten the first day and be prepared to learn.
That's
so
amazing.
It's neat to see how that has happened.
Well, your day is just filled with joy, isn't it?
It is.
You're giving, and you're seeing people give, and you're seeing the achievement of our youth, and you're seeing people just coming in and wanting to make this community a better place.
Yeah,
It's wonderful stuff.
And it's really encouraging to see how we support our community. So, and one thing that makes things like the grants to the youth baseball and preschool scholarships and all the things that we're able to do is donors who have given to community funds. Of course, right now we have, thanks to the Lilly Endowment, we have a matching program going on for our community funds, which are those that make grants to the community. So last year we did a lot of pop-up grants celebrating our 25th anniversary. Those came from our community funds. When we talk about our grants, those come from our community funds. But Lilly Endowment has given us the opportunity to match all donations to those community funds, $2 for every dollar given.
2 to 1.
And they started that last October.
Okay.
And we've already raised over $186,000 of the $250,000 goal that we have.
So you're getting close.
So when we get to that $250,000 goal, then we have $500,000 from Lilly Endowment, and that will translate into about $30,000 additional grants every year.
Really?
In addition to what we're already right now, we're able to give out about $200,000. We'll be able to give out $30,000 additional dollars because of this. So thank you to everybody who has supported that.
No kidding.
We have a list of funds actually on our website that are eligible for that match. But if somebody says, "Hey, I'd like to create a fund maybe in honor of my family or in memory of somebody," new community funds can also be eligible for that match as well. So
interesting.
It's just a neat opportunity to be able to do even more things like the preschool project.
Absolutely. What a great thing.
And support more needs in our community. So
that is wonderful. Now, what is your deadline for that match?
Well, the goal is we have to have it raised by the end of 2020.
Okay.
I've been telling people don't wait because I kind of anticipate by the end of this year we'll meet that $250,000 goal. So if you're interested, especially we get towards the end of the year tax planning time, that's a good opportunity for somebody to look at and say, I need to make a gift that'll help reduce my tax burden. And
it's a win-win.
It'd be a win-win. So if you give $100, it turns into $300.
Yeah, and it helps your taxes and it helps the community here again. So you don't want to wait. Mark your calendars. Sometime in December, put a little star right there. It says contact Brian at the Community Foundation.
Or we'll have Giving Tuesday again this year.
Yeah,
that'd be a good time.
That's
a
a good
time
point,
to stop in and
That's
find
November?
out. It'll actually be in December. This
year.
First Tuesday after Thanksgiving.
Okay, so it's pushed into December this year.
It usually ends up in November, but this year with Thanksgiving is the last week in November, and so this will be the first week in December. But
well, what else you got going on with that foundation?
The other thing that I wanted to talk a little bit about was our Fulton County Women's Giving Circle.
Yes, sir.
It's a neat group that has done a lot of good. So if you're not familiar with the group, what happens is women donate $120 a year. Half of that is put into an endowment, which is invested, and then earnings are used to make grants. The other half are used to make grants for community projects right now.
Okay.
So we've run an average between 70 and 90 members.
Okay, wow.
It varies every year.
That's great, though.
The group was actually formed in 2010, made their first grants in 2011.
Okay.
Since that time, the endowment fund has grown to over $52,000.
Wow.
So this year, the endowment fund itself was able to grant out $2,000 in grants.
Wow.
But since inception, including this year's grants, the group has granted $51,500 to community
This is
needs.
money that's been given out.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's this year. It was $7,000 they were able to grant out, and part of that, like I said, was due to the endowment fund growing, and that will just continue to grow. And part of that is members' dues.
That's
so
amazing.
it's wonderful to see. So this year they had 4 grants that they provided.
Okay.
Can
You
we say
hold an event every year?
we
right?
hold an event?
Now, we
every
filmed
year.
it one year.
Yes.
But
And so what happens is we ask for grant applications
Okay.
from the community. We have a grants committee of members of the Women's Giving Circle. They narrow it down to finalists.
Okay.
And then those finalists are invited to come to the annual social. And all of the women who are members then vote on which organization
So you vote
they would
on them
like
that
to-
night?
Yes,
Okay.
vote on them that night. All of those finalists this year, there were 4, received some grant. And then the way we determine the levels is by who receives the most votes.
gotcha.
So
It's democracy in action.
it's democracy in
I
action.
like it. Who were our recipients this
So
year?
this year, starting off, the Kewanee Union Township Public Library
Okay.
received $1,000.
Excellent.
They do so many programming opportunities, anywhere from things like Lego clubs to some STEM type activities.
Great. We need that.
Summer reading program. They also offer programs for adults, things like history programs.
Yep.
I know they've partnered with Purdue Extension to offer some education classes
That's
at the
great.
library, and just a wide range of programs. The Kewanee Library kind of has become the community center
Yes.
in Kewanee,
Yes.
and so a lot of events are going on there. So they received $1,000 to help them expand some of their programming.
Fantastic.
Riddle Elementary School has a one book, one school program.
Yes, sir.
I know we should say as seen on Channel 4.
That's right. That's right.
I've seen some of the recordings of
Yeah.
the readers, but that was a program that they started this year and will continue next year.
yes. They've already booked
They
us.
received $1,000 for that program to be able to help students, faculty, community members read a book. The goal of creating kind of a community event to focus on, and
Yep.
also help boost some literacy,
Absolutely.
help provide some extra reading. Parents at home are reading the same book and understanding, and so it's been neat to see that community come together, and
Yeah.
some celebrity readers have been throughout the program.
It was great. It was great.
So-
Joanna Johnson headed that up over there, did a great job for Riddle Schools. Libby Woodjick here at RTC did that, and she did a great job with that production. Everybody involved, we just couldn't be grateful enough. But now you're telling me that you've gotten involved as well and given a grant so that we can
support
continue
them so they
this.
can continue to do the program.
Good
So,
stuff, sir.
A neat thing. The Beeman Home received $2,000.
Okay, tell me about that.
It's not a name that's always familiar in our community. It's actually based in Kosciuszko County.
Okay.
But it is a shelter for women and families who have suffered from domestic violence.
Okay.
So anywhere from, in an emergency case, they have emergency shelter,
Great.
Emergency transportation, but they also do a lot of education
Okay.
in our community, in the schools, with the idea of being able to help people recognize and prevent
Yep.
those situations from happening. So
As well as how to deal with it if you're in that situation,
yes,
or maybe
and
better
if-
yourself.
Yes, and really how to deal with that all around. And like I said, in worst case scenario, they do have a shelter that they can offer short term housing.
Yeah. And do they serve this area,
They
which is
do,
why
yes,
you've
yes.
given some money
So
to them.
they're actually based out of Kosciuszko County, but they serve quite a few folks in our community. So
Great.
wonderful to see them supported. And
Oh,
then
that's fantastic.
$3,000 went to the Times Theater.
Yes.
Of course, that's an ongoing project in our
Absolutely it
community.
is.
It's neat to see the progress that they've made. One of the things that they need was to be able to upgrade their restroom facilities and some of their heating and cooling. They had some issues this year with the cold,
Okay.
so they'll be able to insulate better to prevent damage from future freezes.
That is just
but
great.
also to upgrade their restroom facilities so that they can actually have gatherings and events at the theater.
It's coming. I've been preaching this for years and years now about what this is going to look like when it's done, and the people dedicated to it, the money coming into it, the community foundation helping to facilitate some of this. It's going to get done, and it's going to be beautiful. And the folks, if you're not a part of it, get on the bandwagon now. Get up there, volunteer some of your time, energy, money to bring this to fruition. The more help we get now, the sooner it'll be done. And so thank you for that one. That's another great one that the Women's Giving Circle gave to that. Now, if somebody's at home, and I'm sorry to interrupt, if somebody's at home and they want to be a member of the Women's Giving Circle, they want to go to the meetings, they want to talk, they want to be a part of this, they go online, or is that more of a phone call?
They can do it either way.
Okay.
We have space on our website
Okay.
where there's information about the Women's Giving Circle.
Great.
They can also stop by our office or give us a call, and we would be more than happy to talk through that. We like to have the annual dues in by the end of the year.
Okay.
So there's still time, and again, if it's somebody that makes that contribution at the end of the year for tax related purposes,
Yep.
that's great. But it's $120 a year for dues.
Excellent.
And then it's participating in the social, helping us get the word out. We can always help to spread the word about more membership, and also when we're ready to provide grants, help getting the word out about
Absolutely.
if they're part of an organization or know of an organization doing something that needs some funding, helping us get the word out about that. So it's neat to see how this group has grown. Of course, my wife is part of this, and it's a simple way for her to make a small financial contribution, but make a really big impact in the community. When you start talking about $7,000 a year and
collectively
over
it adds up,
$50,000 in grants to projects, it's really neat to see how it impacts our community. So,
well, you've got so much going on. We're gonna have to make this an hour and a half program. I told Brian before he came on, I said, we can talk for 2 hours if you want. Didn't think he had 2 hours worth of material, but so many great things happening over at your local community foundation. Brian's not just a pretty face. He's out there working for you every day. He's willing to take the meetings and the calls. Jay Albright's just got the whip to you, my friend, hasn't he?
We've got a good group of staff in our at our
do.
foundation. So if you see myself or Jay or any of our staff around the community,
Corinne's still there.
She is.
Allison.
Yep.
Who else is there?
We also have probably the voice. If you call in, the first voice that you get is our office manager, Jessica Michael.
Jessica.
Is a great asset to our organization to be able to provide resources. If donors have questions, we often get folks that call in and just want to know something about a fund or how to make a gift. So any of our staff is more than willing to help provide that information.
Well, and he's sincere in that, folks. They really do want to help. And the other thing, and I don't know, we're going to be doing these shows quite a bit. I might close with this, but having spent some time in the community foundation down in Bloomington, having worked with Brian over the past few years, you don't have to be a millionaire to give back. Yeah. You do not have to write $1 million check. $120 in the Women's Giving Circle is giving back hundreds of thousands of dollars, and will continue to give hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of its lifetime. But these guys can help you out. If you have a passion for something here locally, you want to leave a legacy, a memory of a loved one, or even your own legacy, give these guys a call. It is the best vehicle by which to do that here, to help your community. And I just couldn't be a stronger advocate for what you guys do over there. A professional crew through and through. They know the numbers. They know you got a business over there where you've got to understand the numbers. You've got to understand returns on investment. But you also have to have the heartfelt side of what these people are trying to achieve with their goals and being earnest stewards of that.
Yeah, really, that's our goal as a foundation. Donors want to see good things happen in our community, and we just happen to be the vehicle that they choose a lot of times to be able to do that. So our ultimate goal is to make sure that things are supported in our community based on donors' passions. So.
Absolutely. Well, you're doing a great job of it. We're going to get Brian in here for some more shows throughout the year. Give us an update every now and again, and don't be a stranger. Come back more often, and we will just keep people up to date of all the great things happening. Again, the website is nicf.org.
Yep.
Excellent. You can catch them here on 9th Street in Rochester. Anytime you want to stop in, they'll be happy to talk to you. Brian Johnson, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Scott.
And thank you, folks, for watching here on RTC TV4.
Townhome Furnishings in Rochester is the place to shop for all of your furniture needs. Sofas, recliners, love seats, dining sets, bedroom sets, mattresses, outdoor furniture, and more. All in your hometown. Stop out and see Don, Mary Kay, Linda, or Joe. They want to help you find the exact pieces to fit your needs. Shop online at townhomefurnishings.com.
Hometown service, town home style, town home furnishing.